It used to be one of the most hotly debated topics on Earth, until we started to experience the effects for ourselves. Now even governments who used to be skeptical agree with the scientists that global warming is one of the most pressing issues we face in the world today. In fact, global warming has now replaced the nuclear arms race as the most appalling threat to human survival. But unlike a nuclear threat, we cannot control the alarmingly powerful forces of nature with the push of a button. We are indeed fortunate that scientists and engineers didn't just debate the issue, but have been working for years to find a solution. Once they realized that global warming was caused by greenhouse gases, such as methane and carbon dioxide, they worked to find a way to reduce the harmful emissions that cause the problem. But they also realized that cutting fossil fuel use while maintaining economic growth would be a major challenge. One company who has met this challenge and proved that it could be done is Methcap, a subsidiary of the London-listed WSP Group. They chose to make cleaner energy their business and proved that it is possible with the innovative use of existing leading-edge technology, not only to find alternative, more environmentally friendly fuel sources, but also to generate renewable energy. The petrochemical refinery industry is at the heart of the fossil fuel economy, which in turn is central to climate change. Methcap was the first to launch a pioneering biogas to energy project in Africa. It started more than 2 years ago when they took the bold step of approaching PetroSA, a petrochemical refinery in Mossel Bay, South Africa, with a unique proposal. The chemical effluent treatment plant is an indispensable part of PetroSA's gas-to-liquid refinery process. The effluent is cleaned at the treatment plant with an anaerobic digestion process, which in turn produces methane-rich biogas. As methane gas is a greenhouse gas that is harmful to the environment, it is burned, diminishing its harm. Recognizing an opportunity for renewable energy while simultaneously reducing harmful greenhouse gas emissions, Methcap proposed a project where instead of being flared, the methane-rich gas would be redirected to a dedicated power generation plant where it could then be used as fuel for engines that generate electricity.
This project is unique in that it is the first independent power producer to use carbon finance in South Africa under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Another unique point is that it is on a petrochemical refinery, which is generally not associated with clean energy. And however, we've managed to use biogas, which is a byproduct of the production process, to generate renewable energy.
PetroSA buys its electricity from the national grid provided by Eskom, South Africa's national power company. By purchasing a portion of their electricity at the plant from Methcap, PetroSA will lower the demand on the coal-dominated grid, thereby enabling Eskom to burn less coal at their power plants and in so doing, reduce their carbon dioxide emissions.
This project more than assure our customers that we are determined and are prepared to invest our capital, our resources in making sure that we will continue producing in an environmentally friendly manner, and our processes will take care that we reduce the gases or emissions that will affect the environment.
Compared to the rest of the world, electricity is very cheap in South Africa. In order to make the biogas to energy project economically viable, Methcap made use of the Clean Development Mechanism, or CDM, established by the Kyoto Protocol as implemented by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change.
To sum it up very briefly, it's a subsidy scheme created to make clean development affordable over dirty development. The goals of the CDM are firstly to enable developed countries to reach their emission reduction targets as cheaply as possible, and secondly to transfer technology to developing countries. In this particular case, we are generating carbon credits because we are causing the grid to generate less coal-based electricity, and those carbon credits are being sold to European utilities, so that's the first aim of the CDM met.
Methcap selected leading-edge technology for the biogas to energy plant. It was designed and built according to strict international standards. Methcap will also operate the plant for the next 15 years, ensuring that quality control and health and safety standards will be upheld at all times.
PetroSA has got a very high standard. Therefore, for anybody that we deal with, we got to make sure that he deals with strict regulations, a good engineering practice to ensure that the safety and integrity of our people and our plant is maintained all the time.
Work on the biogas power generation plant started at PetroSA after a lengthy process of securing the necessary regulatory approvals and permits. Under the Kyoto Protocol, ongoing monitoring is required to ensure that the project is not only achieving its environmental and economic goals, but also sustainable development in the host country. The power generation plant houses 3 Jenbacher gas engines that were imported from a company in Austria called GE Energy. These engines will be powered by the methane-rich biogas from PetroSA. They are internal combustion reciprocating engines which work in much the same way as a motorcar engine. The Jenbacher gas engines drive a generator, which in turn generates 4.2 megawatts of electricity. This electricity is then sold to PetroSA. This one project generates sufficient electricity to free up enough power on the national grid to provide electricity to thousands of households. The plant was officially opened by the Minister of Minerals and Energy, Buyelwa Sonjika, who had high praise for the project. The Minister continued by praising Methcap for the social development aspect of the project.
The launch today of the PetroSA Biogas to Electricity project indicates that the implementation of renewable energy in South Africa is not just a fantasy from government, but it is actually doable. It is important that we see this project as a catalyst for the development of other renewable energy projects in the country.
As sustainable development is an important aspect of the clean development mechanism, the carbon credit system allows Methcap to contribute funds needed for a significant social upliftment and poverty alleviation scheme in the Western Cape. They formed a partnership with the Eden District Municipality and Ikamva Labantu, an NGO with extensive experience in social and sustainable development projects in the region. WSP confirmed that 7.5% of the proceeds from the carbon credits will be donated to a poverty alleviation project. After careful consultation with all parties, the small farming community of Haarlem was chosen as the site for a sustainable development project. The town nestles in the valley of the Koga Mountains. Its community has faced many hardships in the past, but now, thanks to the WSP Biogas to Energy project, they can look forward to a much brighter future.
Dat het 'n oorweldigende reaksie uitgelok by die mense. Hier onder ons is 'n nuwe gevoel van samehorigheid geskep.
Haarlem is an isolated town that consists mostly of small farmers who are trying to make a living against the odds. Unemployment is as high as 58% in this community, and it is difficult to find work due to the long distances they have to travel to reach the nearest commercial town or industrial centre. The farmers in Haarlem have already shown their willingness to work hard and succeed with their small farming projects, which provide some employment to the locals and are helping the farmers to survive. One such entrepreneur is Evelyn Tesa, who developed a nursery with the honeybush tea plants that grow naturally in the mountains. She obtained a plot of land and started a small honeybush tea plantation. Her products are sold as far afield as Holland, and this year she even won an award as Farmer of the Year in the Eden District. Some of the other successful farmers at Haarlem have done their research and hope to improve their situation with fruit tree plantations, which have proven to be ideally suited to the area. Against the odds and with a severe lack of funds to operate their land, they are persevering. With the cash input from the WSP project and the expertise and skills offered by Ikamva Labantu, this community now stands a real chance to improve their lot in life.
It must be commercial, it must be sustainable, it must be viable. That's why we're putting together things like training, which goes with it, and try and involve business.
Our key mandate is to make sure that we fight poverty, and part of the skills that you need to fight poverty is to make sure that you empower our people skills. And I'm excited because it is the first project that I think it makes me to be very comfortable that it will deal with what we want to deal, especially on issues of rural development.
The Biogas to Energy project has once again proved that Methcap can successfully develop and implement clean development mechanism projects that are making an environmental, economic and social difference in the world and to our climate. As more of these projects are developed in other parts of South Africa, it has been estimated that it could generate more than 350 times the amount of renewable energy that was created with the PetroSA project. This will make a significant contribution to the fight against global warming.